So we're here with Agnes Sam at her home in York, and we're here to talk about Dora. How did you come to write Dora?
The dialogue came to me, and because the dialogue seemed so authentic, I realised it would be a play and not a short story or a novel. And so I wrote a screenplay for television, but eventually it was, I adapted it for radio, and the BBC broadcast it as a radio play.
Okay, so how was the process of adapting it from a screenplay to radio? How did that go?
It went very well. I submitted drafts to somebody at the BBC radio, and then it was too long in certain places, and I introduced sound effects and things like that. And at the end of that, the BBC broadcast it as the Monday plays, the radio play.
Can you tell us a bit about the recording process? How was it going down to the BBC and being in the studio when they were recording it?
It was quite exciting because the actors were members of Equity, and there were technicians dealing with sound and things like that. And the producer was there, director-producer, was Tracy Neal. So I remember when I think it took 3 days for them to record. When I left the studio, I thought that this was probably the best experience of my life as far as a writer was concerned.
And what is the theme of the story, the theme of the play?
It's about two African women who work as housemaids, and Dora is the lead character, and she tries, like a lot of people did, to keep a very low profile because she doesn't have family, but she has one child, and she's drawn into the politics of South Africa by the tragedy that happens during the play. And her friend works in the neighbouring house is very politicised, so there's the slight conflict between them. And that's basically what it's about. Dora's attempts to avenge the death of a little girl.
And the version that's been published is the original screenplay. So what are the differences between the radio script and the screenplay that's been published?
Well, the screenplay was the original idea, and it's very visual. So there are parts of the play that can't be done on the radio, with the little girl, with silences that have to be conveyed by the camera, and all of that was omitted from the radio play, but it will come out in a screenplay, whether it's a television or film script. That will come out, and I think what's important to me in this is it's before the elections, and people are in that situation where they're not sure if the elections will take place, and there's lots of undercurrents. But what I've tried to do in this play is to focus on somebody who has to become politicised, and the person is Dora. And I've tried not to bring in racial tension between black and white people in South Africa. So my focus has been on creating a play where everyone who plays a leading part is African, and the minor roles are played by an Indian doctor and an Afrikaner photographer, so that the emphasis really is on the conflict between African people who are oppressed and then the few individuals who work as Africans in the army and have joined the police force and things like that.
As you say, it was broadcast on Radio 4 as the Monday play, and I think it was broadcast on a couple of other European stations as well. And the Sunday Times selected it as a pick of the day when it was broadcast, so that must have made you feel quite good about the critical reaction to the play.
That's right, and especially with it being the Sunday Times, I was quite excited about that. And of course, when it's broadcast on Radio 4, it has a very, very wide range of people who listen. And at that time they had the Monday play, there was a Saturday play, it was repeated on a Saturday afternoon. And thousands of people listened to it. So it was, I liked that.
And this led to another play of yours being broadcast on Radio 4 later on, which I understand you were going to publish the screenplay for quite soon. Can you tell us a bit about that second play?
The second play was The Tyranny of Karma, which people would call fate, but some people refer to it as karma. And this is about almost like a cycle, a wheel of things that recur, and how people are bound up by the wheel of their destiny, really. So this is about a girl in this country returning to South Africa, and the boy she's with, they don't realise that they are part of what had happened in South Africa in the past.
And when do you think you'll publish that?
I haven't decided on a date, but that was broadcast I think in 1994, if I'm not mistaken. And that was called The Tyranny of Karma. What was good for me is that members of Equity took part in both plays, and these are professional people, so I like that. But there was only one South African in Dora, and everyone else tried desperately to have a South African accent, and of course they couldn't pronounce some of the names like Trina, you do that click at the beginning of your tongue, that type of thing. So that was interesting for me that only one person was actually South African. But the voice I really, really liked in Dora was the voice of
Is it the doctor?
the man Mafuta, I think
Okay.
his name is. And when he said, like this, I came to see Dora for the first time, and I really, really loved his voice. Had a really good voice for the radio,
So what are you working on now then?
At the moment, I have 3 novels in hand that I'm working on, and they relate to, one is set in this country, and the other 2 are connected with India, Britain and South Africa.
Okay, well, thank you very much.